going on, everybody? Mr. Octagonal here, and we are back with the Westlake Hornets Teambuilder Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. As today we got ourselves the annual season number 10 recruiting special where we go around the country looking at potential high school prospects who could become future stars here for our Westlake Hornets. Sorry there's not been a lot of Westlake content over the past couple weeks, just been busy with this video and other stuff, but we should be uploading Westlake back to normal in the mix quite soon. So first off, we got running back Irving Porter, who of course leads the defending Utah State champion Ogden Tigers. Porter is a 4-star, number 7 running back in the nation, and could be a big get for the Hornets. He had a career year this year, averaging about 7.5 yards a carry, and he does have fresher legs than a lot of these running backs since Ogden is an option team, and they have so many guys who can run the ball. The talent is there, but the only concern with Irving Porter is his frame. He is quite small, as this is currently a 3-team battle between Westlake, Utah, and Colorado. The Buffaloes are currently the favorite to land him. So next up, we got Carter Westwood, the number 2 prospect in the entire country, the number 1 wide receiver. And this man is a superstar, of course, from Burmester High, right down the street from Westlake's campus. And sure enough, he will be a Westlake Hornet, as Carter Westwood is a generational prospect, one of the best athletes in general to come out of high school these past few years. He committed to the Hornets right pretty much as the season started, and who knows, maybe next year he'll be catching passes from his older brother Stephen Westwood. Only time will tell, but that would be something. And the scariest part about Carter Westwood is the receiver next to him is Cassius Troy, who is the number 3 wide receiver in the nation. Troy is also a 5-star, and while he is not committed, believe it or not, he only has one scholarship offer, and guess who that's from? Westlake. So the dynamic duo of Carter Westwood and Cassius Troy will very likely be pairing up on Saturdays now, as Troy is extremely well-rounded, and there are no red flags with him. You'd think that there would be, considering he only has one scholarship offer, but no injury concerns, no academic concerns, no off-the-field concerns, so I don't really know why teams aren't going after him. And then also on this Burmester High offense, it gets even better. Alvo Ayaluko is the tight end. Of course, you probably know that last name. Alvo here is the younger brother of former Westlake wide receiver Ayo Ayaluko, and the younger brother of current Westlake wide receiver Ulri Ayaluko. However, Westlake was able to get those two guys really easily. Here, Alvo Ayaluko here, this is actually going to be an actual recruiting battle, so Westlake might not get the third Ayaluko brother, but hopefully. Next up, back to Ogden. We're going to be taking a look at their quarterback, Keith Fleming. Fleming is only a junior, and he's one of the most intriguing prospects in high school ball. Only a 3-star, but he is a very interesting athlete, and he doesn't have a clear set position at the next level. He's at his best with his legs, but he's done a sufficient job throwing the ball for Ogden. He could play quarterback, running back, maybe wide receiver. He's even played a little bit of defensive back, and he is also the team's kicker and punter. So Ogden uses him in so many different ways. He's not the biggest, but he's certainly the most dynamic player on the field. And even though he's only a projected 3-star, he's so versatile and could be so good. Now let's take a look at the Moon twins, starting off with wide receiver Tegan Moon. Tegan here is a 4-star, and he is an athletic freak of nature. And just like Cassius Troy, Westlake is the only team to offer this talented wide receiver a scholarship, which just baffles me. Westlake's receiver class this year is going to be unbelievably talented. And let me just tell you, there's more after Tegan Moon. But nonetheless, Tegan should be a really fun player at the next level. And I think the most exciting part about him is he has a twin brother who also will likely be a college football superstar. On the other side of the field, at cornerback, we got Tristan Moon. Moon is the number 1 ranked cornerback in the nation. He is a 5-star, so technically he is higher ranked than Tegan and does have the bragging rights. But I think these two are equally as talented. They're both freaks of nature. I mean, these guys have blazing speed, phenomenal athleticism, and unlike Tegan, Tristan here is actually in a recruiting battle with multiple schools, so this is not a guarantee that Westlake lands him, but this would certainly be a big get for the Hornets. And then the last prospect we'll be looking at from the state of Utah, all the guys we've looked at are from Utah, is going to be Ronald Benson, inside linebacker. Benson is the number 5 middle linebacker in the country, and he's a very talented player. Westlake is really looking for their Owen Jackson replacement, and Justin McGee has been serviceable, and he'll probably be the starter for the next few years. But after him, Ronald Benson could be the guy. He's not the biggest, 6 foot 245, but I mean, this is a hard-nosed, old-school football player, kind of like Owen Jackson. Now, he does not have quite the intimidation factor that a guy like Owen Jackson does have on the field, but other than that, I think Benson could be really good. Now let's start looking at out-of-state prospects, starting with wide receiver Dale McBride. McBride is the number 28 receiver in the nation, but he is a hidden gem. Super talented. I think he's the talent of a 5-star. And guess what? He only has one scholarship offer, and it's from Westlake. They're getting 4 dominant wide receivers in this recruiting class, which is unbelievable to me. Dale McBride here has a good combination of height, weight, and speed. 6 foot 200, not bad at all. And like these other receivers, he's a freak of nature, and the production is there. I don't know why nobody's going after these guys. It just blows my mind. And then his teammate, we got defensive end Joe Thompson. Thompson is one of the top edge rushers in this class, and I think he's quite raw and has a lot of work to do, but I do like his upside. He has elite burst and quickness off the edge, and he's a little bit undersized. All of those qualities remind me a lot of Cole Spencer, who is, of course, Westlake's star pass rusher. He's going to be gone after this year as he is a senior. And will Joe Thompson be the next Cole Spencer? Probably not, but who knows. Westlake is the heavy favorites to land Joe Thompson, but unlike all of these talented wide receivers, I wouldn't call it a guarantee that Westlake does get him. And now we're going to be looking at quarterback once again. Marsucio Alteron, a junior out of Columbia, South Carolina. We were scouting a different prospect in this game, who we'll highlight in just a second. But this guy looks like he could be an absolute star, and doing some more research on him, he is a projected 5-star. He is a dynamic athlete, he's extremely mobile, and he can win with his legs, but he's also great with his arm. He is a projected 5-star and will likely be the number 1 quarterback in the nation next season. And I know Westlake does not need a quarterback for the serviceable future, but Alteron could be an interesting get for them down the line. His teammate that we were scouting in that game is cornerback Marvin Bailey, a physical monster standing at 6 foot who has elite footwork, great cover skills, and ball skills. He's extremely well-rounded, as you can tell, and there's not a whole lot wrong with him, as he needs to build up the frame a little bit. The tackling isn't great. The effort could improve a little bit, but all of the skills are there, and I think Marvin Bailey could be a really, really good player at the next level. This is a tough recruiting battle between South Carolina, Wisconsin, and Westlake, but I'm sure the Hornets would love to have him. The last 2 prospects we're going to be looking at today both reside in Southern California, starting with quarterback Jesse McKenzie. Westlake is not currently going after McKenzie. However, he is an important name for a couple reasons. I mean, one, he's going to be the future of college football. I mean, he's such a great player, but the teams he is receiving offers from are USC, Washington, Stanford, UCLA, and Nebraska. I don't expect Nebraska to get him, so cross them off that list. And the other 4 teams going after him are all in the Pac-12. So I think whoever gets him will be really set up for the future. I think this is a guy who we'll be talking about as a potential Heisman candidate in 3 to 4 years from now. And then last but not least, we're going to be taking a look at linebacker David Harris. Harris is the number 5 prospect in the entire nation, the number 1 middle linebacker, and I think this is who Westlake wants as their Owen Jackson replacement. Ronald Benson is great, and if the Hornets get both Benson and Harris, I'm sure they'll find a way to make it work, but David Harris is the better of the 2. I mean, this is one of the best linebacking prospects I've seen come out of high school in a while, probably since Lewis Kahn, who is now a redshirt sophomore for the Hornets, and he has been the team's best linebacker this season. I'm sure this will be a tough recruiting battle for Westlake, as Stanford and UCLA are going to really give Westlake a tough fight. Washington State, Oregon State, UNLV, Nevada, USC, Utah State, and Texas have all also offered him scholarships. So there's a lot of interest there. And then those are all the players that have positives about them, but I want to take a quick look at running back Isaiah Sparks. I'm saving Isaiah Sparks for the end because his story is rather disturbing. As you can tell, there's no highlights shown for Sparks. No new graphics made for Sparks. This is his graphic we had for last year's recruiting special. That's because there is no highlights to show of Isaiah Sparks. Sparks has not played a game as a senior, and that's because he got expelled from the school after a football practice before the season started. He was seen physically assaulting 2 women in school property, might I add, has been expelled from the school, and everybody at all D1 schools in college football, including Westlake, have taken their scholarships off. Isaiah Sparks will likely be entering the JUCO ranks next season, and if he can stay in good behavior and play well enough, I think he will get a new opportunity as a JUCO sophomore to re-enter the Division I college ranks. Will Westlake offer him a scholarship? That's to be determined, but for right now, Sparks has to focus on not only keeping up on the field, but also making some decisions off the field. Certainly a disturbing story for Isaiah Sparks, but let's hope it has a happy ending. Maybe in a Westlake Hornet jersey down the line, we'll have to see. So now it's time to go more in depth about our current recruiting board. Starting at quarterback, we are going after none. I don't have to go into detail there. We're pretty set at quarterback. Next year, I would expect Westlake to probably go after Marsucio Alteron. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the running back position. Westlake currently going after 2 running backs, including Irvin Porter, who we talked about. Westlake, out of the 3 teams in the battle, is the least likely to get him, but this is certainly a battle that the Hornets could win. I believe they do get him visiting first, which should help them get back in the battle. I think Irvin Porter will be a big get for this offense and could make an impact pretty soon in his career. And then we're also going after Derek Beck, who is actually ranked a little bit higher than Irvin Porter, but I do think he's a little bit worse. Westlake should land him, but Michigan State also appears interested. No fullbacks on the board. Wide receiver, there are 7 guys on the board, including Carter Westwood, who is committed, and then the big 3 of Cassius Troy, Tegan Moon, and Dale McBride. Let's take a look at Westwood's numbers first. That's all you need to know. This guy is an absolute star. And then these other 3 receivers are no slouches themselves. As you can see, Cassius Troy should commit within the coming weeks. And looking at his numbers, he's not too much worse himself. And then Tegan Moon also should commit within the next couple weeks. If you look at his numbers, boom, they're almost as good. And then Dale McBride, he's going to commit pretty soon as well. And his numbers are also off the charts. If these guys end up as the top 4 receivers in this class when it's all said and done in 4 or 5 years from now, I really would not be surprised. These guys are so good. And then after them, we do have a few other players on the board. Cedric Gregg, Bryant Moore, and Sean Valentine, all 4 stars. We'll probably get most of them. Looking at tight end, we do have a commit, David Patterson, the number 4 tight end in the country. We need depth at tight end, so anybody's helpful. And then there's also Avo Ayuluko, and as we need depth, I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like Patterson or even Ayuluko were to play day 1 if we did get them. As you can see, Stanford is having a comfortable lead, and the thing I'm concerned about in this battle is Stanford gets the first visit, and if this visit goes well enough, Stanford's going to land him, which is obviously sad. We'd love to have another Ayuluko brother of the program, but it's not looking good, so maybe in a last-ditch effort, we try to get out of that battle, use a lock to get back in, and then maybe make it closer. I think that's our only hope right now. It seems like a long shot, but I think it's actually kind of a good idea. Looking at left tackle, there's Byron Terrell, a player who I certainly would have mentioned, but same thing. Mississippi State is a comfortable lead. They had the first visit. He will very likely be a Mississippi State Bulldog. Going after no guards, going after 1 center, Alex Jones, he should commit. I probably should be going after more offensive linemen. I'm going to try to search for some hidden gems. Defensive ends, we're going after 5, including Joe Thompson. This is a battle we should win. He has nice speed off the edge, and I think he could. He has a similar play style to Cole Spencer. I don't think he'll be as good as Cole Spencer, but I think he's solid. Michael Tubzinski, the complete opposite of Cole Spencer. He's slow, but he does have good inside moves. And I don't think he's strong enough to move inside. I mean, maybe. We could consider it. He certainly is for size, but only at 74 strength. I don't really know where he would play. Also going after Scott Clark. And then we put a few potential gems on the board in Tanner Thomas and Lonnie Roach. Turns out when we scouted them, both of them went down 4 overall points, so that's fun. Next up, we're going to look at defensive tackle, currently going after one, Wesley Harley, who just committed to the program this past week. He is the number 4 defensive tackle in the nation, and I think this could be a pretty good get down the line. Next up, at outside linebacker, going after one, Nate Davis. He should commit pretty soon. Middle linebacker, we're going after 2, David Harris and Ronald Benson. We highlighted both of these guys. Westlake is going after both of these guys really hard. That's what she said. And I think both David Harris and Ronald Benson would be big additions to the team. Stanford does get the first visit, but since this is a close enough battle, I don't think it's too concerning. And as long as Westlake can stay afloat, I think they'll be fine. Unlike Avo Aluko, I don't think Westlake needs to have a last-ditch effort and take off all of her points. And then here's Ronald Benson. He's a little bit worse than David Harris. But as I said, if Westlake lands both of these guys, I'm sure within the coming years, they'd both be on the field a lot. So if you're a Ronald Benson fan, no need to worry. Looking at corner, the big ones are Tristan Moon and Marvin Bailey, 2 guys we went over. We have the first visit on Moon, which could be big, but since Wisconsin's keeping it close, I think they'll stay in that battle until the end. And then Marvin Bailey, I thought we weren't winning in this battle, but I guess we are, so that's good. And then a guy who I just put on the board is cornerback Paul King. King was a low-lock player who I literally put on about 5 minutes before recording this video. And this guy is a stud. Look at these numbers. 96 speed, 96 excel, 90 zone, 80 man. This guy is a monster. I can't think of the better cornerback I've scouted. This guy looks like an absolute monster. We have to get him. And then there's another cornerback down there, James Harris. We should get him. Safety, the only one we're going after is George Sims. Probably not going to land him. And then looking at athletes, we're going after 4, including Drew Harris, who should commit soon. He is probably going to be a running back, if I were to guess. Nelson Giordi, we're probably going to lose this battle. He looks like probably a safety. I know that man cover is low, but I don't think that's too big of a deal. He's probably not going to match up well on tight ends and slot wide receivers, though. Sean Harris, he is probably a cornerback or safety. And then Wesley Horn, he could also probably play in the secondary, maybe running back, but he's not too special. Both Wesley Horn and Sean Harris have committed to the team already. So that'll do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, have a good one. Happy Sunday. Peace out.